Hello everyone, welcome back to Monique's Home. Today I want to show you how you can style your next fabulous party. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I know that my first two videos are about parenting and education, and most of the upcoming ones will be. But I also wanted to make these bonus videos, and this is the first one, because I realized that there are so many things that I'm passionate about, so many things that I enjoy, and even if I know in my heart that God put me on this earth to be a parent, to be a mom, and I know that that's my purpose in life, and I am immensely passionate about early childhood education and working with families and children. I never wanted to be one to box myself into a stereotype, and I never wanted to say that I'm limited to just that. And another purpose of my creating this channel is to hopefully show others that we are not just a mom, we are not just a dad or a sister, a brother or a friend, and we're so much more than our jobs, and that there's so many things on earth that we can discover and be passionate about and enjoy. And hopefully these bonus videos will show you a little bit more of who I am and what my life is about, and hopefully encourage you to go beyond your comfort zone and try new things. So I said that this party is about styling your parties to make them look awesome and fabulous and Instagram worthy and social media worthy. And the first party that I styled was actually our wedding. That was 11 years ago, and it ended up in the Martha Stewart magazine. It ended up getting featured in that magazine, and I realized then that, this is something that I really enjoy doing. I like making things pretty. I like making celebrations more meaningful than they already are. But I really started doing it professionally about 7 years ago after Matina, our firstborn, turned 1. Her party was a Little Red Riding Hood, Forest Friends kind of theme, and it was picked up by one of the more popular party bloggers in the Philippines, Party Doll Manila. It was featured there, and Smart Parenting magazine contacted me to ask if it would be okay if they featured Matina's party, and of course I said yes. And after that, I started getting clients. I started styling more parties for friends and even for people that I didn't know. First thing that I do when I'm styling parties, either for our family or for other people, is that I think of a theme and or a color palette. And I do this because it just organizes my thoughts, it streamlines my ideas, and it just keeps me on track. If we don't have a theme or a color palette in mind, we tend to just put everything that we like all together in one party. For example, there's something that we see on the internet that we like, or we attend a party and we say, that's a good idea, and you put everything that you want all together in one celebration. It ends up looking a little bit messy, a little bit disorganized, and it's just not as appealing to the eyes. When I'm choosing my colors or my color palette, I usually go for more classic, more muted colors, but of course it depends on your theme and what your clients like. So for example, if you're going for like a fiesta kind of party, then by all means go big and bold with your colors. I would usually tone the colors down. I think it's just easier to blend things, and it's easier on your guests' eyes. So when Renee turned 6, she wanted a Lion Guard party, and instead of going with the usual colors for, let's say, a Lion King or a Lion Guard party, which would probably be yellows and reds and oranges, so sort of what you'd buy in a party store, I decided to tone it down a little bit, and we went with shades of gold and pink. And you could see it all throughout the party. Her cake was in golds and creams, and I even put fresh greenery in it. And I created this backdrop of fringe foil and a balloon garland that was all shades of pretty gold and pretty pinks and rose gold even. And even if it wasn't like a print out of a lion guard scenery or a savanna or the jungle, it still tied in with a lion guard theme because I was sticking to one color palette. Now, when we look for pegs or ideas for a party, we usually go on the internet, we Google or we go on Pinterest, or maybe we look through party magazines. Now, what I like doing is that I add 2 keywords into my search. So for example, it's going to be like a Peter Pan theme. Instead of putting Peter Pan party for boys, what I search for is Peter Pan baby shower or Peter Pan wedding theme. And what comes up are ideas and pegs that are a little bit more classy looking versus more commercialized kind of party decorations. It's a little bit more muted, a little bit more to my taste. So personally, when I style parties and I want to get some inspiration, that's what I search for. My next tip is to have like a focal point for your party, like something that you will pour all your styling energies into, especially if it's a smaller party and there's not enough space at the location. You'd want to be able to decide if it's going to be the dessert table or a photo wall or a backdrop, and it's going to serve as like your wow factor for the guests. Like when they come in, their attention is drawn into it, and it basically is like it holds your party together. It's like your pillar, it's like your foundation, and the style of your party just emanates from that focal point. So when Matina turned 6, she wanted a Moana party, and we had it in one of these play places here where we live, and there really wasn't enough space for guests to mingle at while the kids play. So I decided that the best way to do a focal point for the party was just to have a backdrop. I created this tropical wall backdrop with paper flowers and cutout leaves from cardstock and poster board, and it was great. It looked great, I think, and the kids loved it. They took pictures with it, and it really set the tone. It really set the theme without me having to buy decorations with Moana's face on them or like print pictures of Hei and Maui. Next tip is to weave your theme or your color palette all throughout the elements of your party. For example, when Rafael turned 1, we decided to have like a camping theme for his party, and so on stage we had a tent. We even had this like little black gas lantern, and then on the grassy area we had tents for the kids to play in. We also had a trail mix station so people could make their own trail mix, and then on the guest tables we had like little boxes that had DIY s'mores kits in them. And for entertainment, we invited someone to come in with live animals, because hopefully that's what you see when you go camping. But it doesn't have to be like all big and all extravagant too. Like when I think it was Renee turned, I would say 5, I think, she wanted a dinosaur party, and we were like just in a small space. We only invited some of her classmates, but still I wanted to weave the theme throughout the different elements of the party, no matter how few there were. So we had just the dessert table as our focal point. There was like a grassy backdrop to it, and I made a cake for her that had like succulents and greenery and like little toy dinosaurs. And then for her giveaways, I just bought a takeout container. I filled it with gravel from like a local store, gardening store, I think, and I bought these dinosaur fossil or dinosaur bone looking toys with a little magnifying glass and a paintbrush from the dollar store, and I just put it all together to make like a little dinosaur digging kit. And just makes your guests and the children feel that there was thought and love put into the party, and then that just brings everything, it makes everything come together. So when you're weaving your theme throughout all the elements of your party, don't forget the food. And I'm Filipino, and when we have parties, we have like mountains and mountains of food, like full-blown lunch, full-blown dinner. But that doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice the kind of food that you want. You know, just think of little things. And desserts are the easiest way to put in the theme into your food. So, or even just snacks. Like if it's a smaller party, like when, again, in Matina's Moana party, it was a small one with her classmates, and it was in the afternoon, so we were able to create like starfish looking sandwiches. We had like little tiny cocktail hot dogs that we turned into little octopus creatures, and I made like macarons that look like the kokomoras, like the coconut villains in Moana. And then with Raphael, when he turned 2, we had a space theme party here at home. So I made his birthday cake to look like it had little planets inside. So when you cut through it, you see like little circles, and they were meant to be planets. Last and final tip is to just make your parties meaningful and put a lot of thought into it. Be intentional with the decisions that you make when you're styling your party, because it makes all the difference. When I think of styling my party and all the elements that go into it, what runs through my mind is that I just want our guests to feel welcome. I want them to feel like they're part of my family. I want them to feel like I really took the time to create an event that they will enjoy, that will not only fill their tummies but also fill their hearts. And you don't have to spend a lot of money doing it. You don't have to buy the most expensive decorations or the most expensive giveaway. Like when I make my parties, I try to make the costs as low as possible, but the impact as great as possible. And really, because I just want our guests to feel like that they're that special to me, that I took such time and such care and such love to put the party together. So those are my tips for styling your next awesome party, and hopefully you end up in the magazine somewhere or featured in a party blog somewhere. It's easy enough. Just put your heart into it, make the party a reflection of who you are, who your family is, and it's going to be great. So that's it for today. I will see you in the next video, but until then, make your everyday your own version of extraordinary.